Oh, hello there. My name is Welsh British, and you're probably sitting there laughing away, wondering why I'm looking like a clown. Well, I'll tell you, I'm looking like a clown because in this country today, if you want to say what you think without being abusive or nasty or provoking anyone, if you want to say your opinion, you can only actually do that as long as you don't go too much against the narrative and ideology of what this government and the left believe in. I think that's wrong. I think one should be able to express oneself more liberally than being bullied into one trade of political thought. And I think a lot of things need to be debated in this country and talked about openly. So, why am I dressed like a clown? Well, unfortunately, I don't know what it says for democracy and free speech. Well, you can make your own mind up about that. But if someone like me feels that they have to dress like this to hide their anonymity, then what does that tell you? So I'll leave that for you to think about. And in my opinion, it's only going to get worse. They're already talking about some level of banning of social media. That's just going to be the beginning of the wedge, isn't it, really? How long is it going to be before we live in China or something like that? But anyway, the purpose of me sitting up Great British, or Welsh British, sorry, but also Great British, is to create a forum for us to have some open discussion and debate about issues that government and people like that just refuse. They want to sweep things under the carpet, they want to ignore them, hope they'll go away. And we all know that if you get advice from a family therapist, from a counsellor, from a social worker, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, what they will tell you is to sweep things emotionally and how you feel under the carpet. It doesn't work. It builds up, it causes you problems. It's much better to be open, to be honest, to let things off your chest and discuss things. Issues never get resolved unless they're talked about. So we need to talk about issues. We need to talk about what concerns you, what concerns me. We need to talk about what worries you, what worries me. If we feel unsafe, we need to be able to say so. And we need people to take these issues seriously and discuss them with us and have debate with us, as well as debate in local councils, as well as debate in central parliament, as well as debate in the Welsh Parliament and the Scottish Parliament and the Northern Ireland Assembly. All these places should be discussing and all the issues that the country is worried about. But government just doesn't want to know, do they? So we need a forum to do that. Now, what I've done is I've opened up this account. It's on Teleguard. I don't know if you know the Teleguard app, but if you have a look at it on Google and download it from onto your phone, it's an app like WhatsApp, and basically you can communicate on it, but it's fully confidential. You don't have to give an email address or a phone number or your name on it at all, so it's totally anonymous. My ID on it is Welsh British, as you can see on the notice that I'm holding up. So if you'd like to make a note of that, and if you'd like to download the Teleguard app, it's free, by the way, it doesn't cost you anything. And contact me by text on there, or you can send me a video if you prefer. And my ID again is Welsh British, as you can see there. I'll hold that up a little bit for you at the end so you can take that down if you haven't got it already. But I think that would be an interesting way for anybody that wants to join in amongst yourselves to send me a text, send me a video. You could raise whatever issues that you like, whatever concerns that you like. You can send them to me, and what I can do is I can discuss them on these forums. And then people can reply, they can say what they think. You can just send me your opinion if you want, tell me I look ridiculous dressed up like a clown, and yeah, I'd have to agree with you, wouldn't I? But you can do that. So that's basically what my idea of the forum is like. Now, if you've got any ideas how a forum can be used to help me along, because I'm always up for ideas, then you can let me know as well. But basically, yes, just to raise a few things today. Mainly, you can see so far I'm thinking politically here. But it doesn't have to be all political. You can send me concerns about anything, and we can discuss it. And hopefully it helps people. If you're worried about something, if you're concerned about something, and you can talk about it and discuss it and get different perspectives on it, then that's really sort of helpful, isn't it? But I'm concerned about the state of the country, basically, because you can look at any element of what Parliament is supposed to address and run and manage on behalf of us, the people. It just seems a right old mess, doesn't it? Look at defence. We haven't got one. We're defenceless. It's incredible. We couldn't even get a ship out to the Mediterranean when there was bombs or whatever it was being fired at Cyprus. One, we couldn't protect our own people over there, and the Cypriots that were kind enough to let us have a base there. So this defence is a massive issue. It's a massive issue in education, massive issues with our children being indoctrinated, which no doubt part of this idea of children not going on social media is so that perhaps the government can shut down any sort of views other than what they're trying to indoctrinate our children within schools, and possibly making moves in the future to make it more difficult for education at home, unless all the narratives being taught in schools are taught by the parents. Again, this manipulation. Kids should not be politically manipulated at school. They should be taught in school maths, English, geography, history, etc., 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 to help them into life. They should also, I think, be taught how to manage money. They should be taught about mortgages. They should be taught about all sorts of things to prepare them from life. They should have politics explained to them. The philosophies of the left to the philosophies of the right, but be in an open way so that they can make their own minds up where they lie, and not to be sort of pressured into a particular narrative. Whether that be left or right, it's both wrong, in my opinion, to influence children in that way. But that's schools. You could look at the economy. What a bloody mess. What a mess. We all know when you put taxes up, the receipts coming in are less. So why people rely so heavily on putting taxes up for income really just doesn't make any sense at all. It's all there in history. It's been tried before, and we know the results of it. You put tax up, a lot of rich people will leave. People will spend less because they've got less, so that slows the economy down. Then you put tax on jobs, and obviously there's less jobs available because people are more reluctant to employ people. Businesses struggle more, some close down, and there's less employment out there. And then you get to a situation where there's so many unemployed and so many people off sick in this country that the expenditure of that is above the income from tax revenue. Now, we know that can't go on. It's like you at home, isn't it? If you're in a mess with your money and you've got more going out than you've got coming in, you know that can't last. You know that if you don't do something about that, what it leads to in the end. It leads towards a huge amount of problems, stress and anxiety, and some very, very serious consequences if you don't. It never ends up in a happy place. And we all know, we're spending twice the amount we spend on defence a year. We're spending on interest on the country's debts every year, which is over 100 billion pounds on interest alone. And this government's thinking of borrowing more. That means the interest rate will go up more, and the interest rate will go up as well because less confidence in the economy of this country by the people that are lending us money. And if they have to go to the International Monetary Fund, well, you know, that last time that happened, when was that? That was in the 70s when the Labour government was in as well. And you borrow off the International Monetary Fund and they'll put very stern conditions. So there's that to talk about. There's also net zero, which is a very interesting subject that needs debate, it needs discussion, it needs to be more open, rather than the government saying, this is what's good for you and this is what you'll do. You know, that attitude is just, you know, it's gone with the dark ages, isn't it? And, you know, what on earth dictator Starmer, and I use the word dictator Starmer quite purposely, because clearly, you know, that's what he is. He's inexperienced, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's got the charisma of a dried prune. Looks a bit like a dried prune, actually. You know, he's got very little qualities. Nobody likes him. You know, I say nobody likes him. There's probably about 20% of people in this country like him, which is about the same as that voted for him. Which is another interesting subject, isn't it? 20% of all the electorate voted for Starmer in the last general election. Out of the people that voted, 30% of those voted for Starmer. So Starmer got in with a 30% of vote. Go back to Thatcher, she got in with 44% of the vote, and Starmer has got more seats in Parliament than Thatcher. That is interesting, isn't it? Another interesting fact is that I've got to think myself now. Another interesting fact. Oh God, so my brain's gone. I can't remember that interesting fact. Perhaps it's not that interesting, but you get the gist of it anyway. You know, we do also know that less people voted for Starmer than voted for Corbyn, and he didn't get in. What does that tell you? What a mess. What a mess. And I've just touched the outskirts of it. You know, I'm sure people are frightened about knife crime, shootings, whatever, all the things happening on the streets. You know, I'll hesitate to go out late at night. And, you know, my daughter's old enough and she's got a car and so forth. And she's got a partner as well that helps. But, you know, young girls being out doing what young girls do, you know, going to drink in the pub at night time with their mates, all that sort of thing. Clubbing if they want to go, or whatever they want to do, go to the cinema. You know, can they do that safely these days? Maybe they can, maybe they can't. Are they worried? Are they concerned? Is this wide-ranging, or is it a few? Are parents concerned? Let me know, you know. Send me a message. And what I'll do, there we go again. It's Welsh British Teleguard app that you can download very easily. It's free and it's totally confidential. Let me know your opinions, because what I'll do is I'll look at your concerns as they come through and look at your views, look at your opinions, and we can talk about it when I do another video. What I won't do is use your name. I don't want you to even give me your name. All I will do, if you could just tell me which town, city or county that you come from. If I talk about your particular topic, I can say this is from a person from Halifax, this is a person from the Isle of Wight, or this is a person from Somerset. And, you know, that's it really. I'm not going to use names. I don't need to know your name. Like you don't need to know mine, apart from the fact I call myself Welsh British. So, hey up folks, download the app, send me your concerns, tell me what you want to talk about. Take the mick, because I look like a clown. I can't really deny that. I do look like a clown. And maybe I am a clown in some ways. Anyway, it's really nice talking to you, and I look forward to hearing from you and doing my next video. So take care and have a good time.